What's going on, guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to this episode of The Casual Nerd. It's been one heck of a day, you guys. If you guys are asking how I'm doing nifty. I'm doing good. It's freezing outside. It's why we got a cup of tea instead of a cup of coffee right now, but I am doing just spiffy. My God, that's just so good. This is so, you know, when you make a cup of tea and it comes out like it hits the roof of the mouth just right. Well, we got a lot to go into today, so brace yourselves, get that buckle on, and just do the thing, okay? Because we got a lot to do. So, the stock market, it's a lovely place. Am I right? GameStop. We're going to talk about GameStop in accordance to the stock market, and I have the perfect thing that explains it right here. It's going to be a long one. Please bear with me, okay? This explains everything that has to do with what's been going on in accordance to GameStop and the stock market, hedge funds, all that kind of stuff. I love the stock market. I'm currently learning more about it because I want to do like a little bit of day trading myself. I know you don't just do a little bit of day trading. It's not a side hobby. It's something, once you get into it, you get into it, okay? Day trading is not just a hobby, it's a way of life. Now, the person who this Instagram story is from is not iv'e. He's an Instagrammer who made this entire post, so if you want, go check him out. Go check out his story. He actually explains a lot about the stock market, and he's answering questions and stuff like that currently on his story. So yeah, be sure to go check him out. His stuff is really, really cool. I just followed him today because I really loved this post, which I'm going to read to you right now. Okay, so like I said, buckle in. Now, it states here in his Instagram post that I know at least one of my followers doesn't quite understand what is happening in the stock market right now, and that's enough to motivate me to explain this because somewhat of a turning point in the world history. First, you need to understand what a short is in trading. A short is when you borrow stock from a broker and sell it immediately as its current price. Then you hop on the stock's price falls such that you can buy the stock back at a lower price and return the shares you borrowed to your broker by keeping the difference. Example, let's say I want to short XYZ, which has a current price of $10. I borrow one share and sell it immediately at $10. I have $10 now, but I owe my broker that one share I borrowed. Then let's say the price of XYZ drops to $7. Now decide to cover buyback my short position and buy one share at $7 and return one borrowed share to my broker. I made $10. When I sold and only had to pay $7 to buy it back lower, so my profit is the $3 difference. But now let's say instead of the XYZ price dropping to $7, it goes up to $15. I still need to return the one borrowed share to my broker, except now it's going to cost me a lot more to buy it back. If I buy it back at $15 so I can return the borrowed shares, my losses will be the $5 difference between selling at $10 and rebuying at $15. Since the price can rise indefinitely, my potential losses as a short seller are unlimited. At some point, I have to buy it back and return the shares I borrowed. The more prices rise, the bigger my losses. For GameStop, a few weeks ago, a Redditor on r/Wall Street Bets noticed that a hedge fund had taken a massive amount of short trades against GameStop. This convinced everyone on the thread to join forces and buy as much GameStop stock as possible. This made the price rise, and the hedge fund short position started to lose billions. The losses even surpassed $13.1 billion that the hedge fund was worth. Eventually, the hedge fund had to close their short positions and buy all the GameStop stock back at much higher prices. This is called a short squeeze. Now the hedge fund is declaring bankruptcy. The Reddit thread is combining through their other hedge funds with massive short exposure so they can short squeeze them into the bankruptcy as well. All of Wall Street is saying that the public joining together in this fashion should be illegal, but really, they just lost at their own game to the masses. I just say how much I love this. Like it's the little guy, you know, just conglomerating and coming together and just coming up and trying to beat the big guy. I freaking love it. There's even a video that came out on Fox Business News, I think, where there was this billionaire who was a part of Wall Street, I believe, and he was complaining and saying the little man shouldn't have this much power. I'm paraphrasing immensely right now, but think of it like this. Hedge fund. Bad guys, little guys, trying to get the stock up of GameStop right now. This is the best kind of political memeing I've ever seen. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. And for those of you who have no idea of anything I just said, I can't break it down any more than it already has, because I myself am just getting into the stock market this past year. So for me, Yeah, do I understand what they're talking about? Yeah, I do actually. But for someone who's just getting into it, no offense, this is gonna go right over your head, okay, honey? Next up, as you can see in the title, we're gonna be going over some Konami news, okay? I'm excited about this. I'm excited, and for the first time, I don't wish that Konami would just go away. Like, for the first time, I actually don't wish the company would go away. I got so many people asking me to cover this, and it's interesting because it doesn't outright say this, but I'll tell you guys what I mean in a second after I read this, but... So, it says here in the article that Konami has provided more clarity on the future of its gaming division after announcing that it will dissolve its production divisions. Per a company spokesman, the move has been made to allow for games to be developed more nimbly. Speaking to IGN, Konami explained that the difference between the soon-to-be-discovered divisions and the company's remaining product departments, quote, the division supervised the products department which developed the games, end quote, with the supervisory aspect now removed, the hope is seemingly that the company will be able to make games more efficiently. In quote, the production departments will reportedly direct to upper management, allowing them to respond quickly to the market, explains spokesperson. This makes me hopeful, and a lot of other indie game dev people hopeful as well, because this could bring to light a lot more potential for more amazing types of games. Not just Silent Hill type content, because we all know well that that type of Silent Hill, what was back in the 90s and early 2000s, that's gone, okay? Just seriously, put a fork in it, it's done. If we ever get a remake of those Silent Hill games, hey, that's amazing. But, you know, the thing is now, there's more new types of Silent Hill that's arising, like The Medium, which is not a Konami game. Now, one thing I also found really interesting is in the article that I took that from, I just saw this right now, of where it continued on stating that the story began in an announcement to investors of, among other things, organizational restructuring. A post on the Konami Digital Entertainment website explained that it will dissolve product divisions 1, 2, and 3 to respond to the rapid market that surrounds us. So they're trying to cut down and minimize where needed, which I think is a really great idea for this company, because I feel like it got too big for its own good. Not in a bad way, just in like a cumbersome way that, like, you know, who's Konami? Do they make games? Do they make pachinkos? Do they do, you know, marketing type stuff? Are they a publishing company for game? What are they exactly? So I think they're kind of like minimizing down what exactly needs to get done and everything. So I think that that's really cool. I think doing this, the move that they're making, will allow more indie game devs to have their content and have their games out there, because I feel like there are so many unheard of games and unheard of game companies that are just absolutely incredible. I think that Konami would do well to pick them up and publish your games and actually put them out there for the consumers, because it's like there's so many untapped potential and so much untapped talent that you don't really see too often. You have to really go digging for it. So this is a good thing. I really can't wait to see where it goes. And I for the first time ever, I am really, really happy with Konami. I need a sip of tea for the next story that we're going to be talking about, because, whoo, Nelly. Now I'm going to need another one. Okay, no, don't go anywhere. I need another one. So, you guys know Ninja, you know, popular Fortnite streamer, who's also kind of an asshole. I don't care what people say, alright? If people just, like, if there are fanboys, not just people, if there are fanboys who end up commenting in this video, giving hate to me, I will welcome it gladly, because at this point, I've had enough of Ninja. I'm sorry, okay? I know that you like your blue-haired boy, but seriously, I don't know. Okay, I do not know what goes through his head sometimes, because right now, it's getting offensive. It states here in the article that popular Twitch streamer Tyler Ninja Belvins has some choice words for parents in an interview with the New York Times. Listen to, and more importantly, teach your kids. On the surface, it seems so wonderful, doesn't it? But oh, you just wait. Ninja was asked several questions by the publication about a number of things in his life, from his plans to transition to voice acting to his comments a few years ago about not playing games with women. One question in particular was centered around the behavior of kids who frequent his live streams. When asked what could be done to mitigate the oftentimes infantile and inflammatory comments made in the chat, while inevitably tend to devolve into some form of derogatory or racial slurs, Ninja said it all comes down to parenting. He basically said in an article and in that interview that it wasn't his job. I'm paraphrasing right now, but it wasn't his job to parent someone else's kids. It wasn't his job to teach kids about racism. It wasn't his job to, teach them about that sort of thing, which is incredibly, I just, there's so many things that I want to say, and it's just a matter of trying to keep it condensed in a form that will, be easily chewable for a lot of you guys, because a lot of you guys who are just viewing my videos for the first time like something quick, edible, and just down to the point. So I'm going to say it's a lousy excuse not to try to not censor, but police kind of in a way your content, of where you could just easily say to someone who, if they bring up saying the N-word, or if they bring up saying something really racially derogatory or homophobic, you could just stop the game that you're playing for a moment, have a really strong discussion with your chat, and be like, hey, this isn't cool, this isn't what we're supposed to do, this is not how I want to run a stream where we're being derogatory and stuff. This is not how it's supposed to be. It's offensive. It's not, it's 2021. First of all, you're not supposed to be doing that anymore. So he's supposed to, probably tell his audience, who are young, really young, a lot of young kids follow this dude. And it's become really interesting, because it's I've seen that he was on the cover for a gaming sports magazine or something, back a while ago. And I was like, oh my god, that's really, really cool. Gaming sports is getting the recognition that it deserves. And then, he has to ruin the fun. He had to ruin my pride in him. He had to ruin the fact that I was actually proud of him. Not so much anymore. And I also want to touch on the fact of why he doesn't game with women. I might get so much flack for this, but I don't care. The fact that he doesn't game with women, I'm sorry, but is your wife that insecure? I really don't get it. Honestly, are you or your wife really that insecure that you cannot have a professional business agreement / partnership with another female streamer or YouTuber? I don't understand it. He said in an interview that he wants to respect his wife by not streaming with other women because he is married. There are so many streamers who are married, who have female friends, and who are not threatened. Their wives or their significant other is not threatened by their position or the woman's position and what they do in the field of gaming and entertainment. So it comes down to the matter of, are you or your wife that insecure about your position with your significant other that you're saying, hey, let's just cut out a gender entirely and let's not work with them at all? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I know that might be a drastic point to make, but it's the point that I feel needs to be brought home. So that's my take on this entire Ninja fiasco. I'm sorry, but it's just it annoys me to the point of where it's become aggravatingly disappointing to see a content creator just throw his hands up and be like, that's not my job. It is your job. It is your job as a content creator who has built your community to not only monitor it, but make sure that you won't have crappy ass people within said community. It's a fact. So let's move on to something a little more exciting. A new job listing at Sucker Punch has come out, which kind of means one of two things: that they're just bringing on more new people, or there could be a sequel to the Ghost of Tsushima. Because it states here in the article that a job listing on Sucker Punch's website calls for a combat designer who has played Ghost of Tsushima and understands its core combat systems. This means that there's probably going to be a sequel, and if there's a sequel, I'm probably going to play it, but that means I have to get a PS5, so, sad face. And also, just as a little blurb that I want to put in here, a warning about Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.1 game-breaking bug. They came out with a bug for the patch. A patch for the bug. It's a patch for the bug. This has been fixed. I just wanted to update you guys on the fact that the Cyberpunk patch that literally was game breaking, it was all fixed. So there was a patch for the buggy patch. And last but not least, Xbox. This is why we can't have nice things. This is not a pleasant casual nerd today. I'm so hyped up with emotional angst for some reason. So Microsoft is doing all sorts of things. They announced a new price for their Xbox Live Gold subscription, which they later then revoked because they got, listen, they got the pitches and the forks and the knives and the just the storm of people who were pissed off at them. It states here in the article that less than a day after announcing a price increase for the Xbox Live Gold subscriptions on Friday morning, Microsoft reversed course, following widespread condemnation of the decision by customers and the media throughout the day. In an update, an Xbox Wire announcement posted 11:52 p.m. EST, under 15 hours after the article was originally published, Microsoft acknowledged that it, and quote, messed up today and failed to meet the expectation of the players, end quote. End quote, it states, "We messed up today and you were right to let us know. Acting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming. We failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we have decided to change the Xbox Live Gold pricing. That means prices for current tiers, $9.99 for 1 month membership, $24.99 for 3 months, and $39.99 for 6 months will remain in effect. Microsoft itself does not sell 12-month subscriptions anymore, but they are available at retail for $59.99. New and existing members can continue to enjoy Xbox Live Gold for the same price they pay today," Microsoft said, saying that in many markets the price of Xbox Gold has not changed for years, and some markets it hasn't changed for over 10 years. Microsoft had planned to hike the fees to $10.99, $29.99, and $59.99 respectively. That would have effectively doubled the price of an annual membership to just under $120, twice the cost of PlayStation Plus and 6 times the cost of Nintendo Switch Online. Just ridiculous. Why did they say, now, we're not going to do it. We're just joking. Why did they say that if they, when they originally made one decision? Like, don't do stupid decisions that affect people, especially during a pandemic, a panorama, whatever you want to call it. It's affecting all of us, and the fact that people like me can't work and I can't enjoy the benefits currently of Xbox Live Gold thingamabobber, it irritates a lot of us. And it's one of those, it's one of those interesting things of our companies who, they don't know financial loss. That's the thing. A lot of these bigger companies don't know the concept of financial loss because they're working in a huge company. They have that job security. They don't have the realistic foundation of understanding what the average Joe goes through, basically. So they hike up the prices and they're just like, oh, here, cakes. Let them eat cakes. So I don't know. I'm glad that they switched it back, but that just adds insult to injury because you're like, oh, we messed up. Okay, let's just strike that, reverse it. I'm glad they did that because damn, I don't see the reason for paying for subscriptions while you're under financial crises. I don't see the reason for that unless you have like a family plan or something like that. That's totally different. But even for like a single household, like that's, I don't know. It's just interesting to me how they just make one choice and then they revoke it after they already made it and we're so proud about it. And I'm just like, oh God, please no. But you guys, that is it for this episode of The Casual Nerd. If you guys like my face and what I do and still tolerating me after that discussion we had about Ninja, then please consider subscribing and up the watch time. I really would love to make YouTube partner the way I start making income from the videos that I do because a girl's gotta eat. Actually, I already eat very, very well. I just want to let you guys know that we do need to get to partner because I've been doing this now for almost 5 years and we need to get that watch time up. Okay, we need to get it skyrocketing. We need to meet the level that it's supposed to be. So watch my videos, put them on a playlist, watch them, enjoy them, cringe at the fact that I'm very cringeworthy a lot of the time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to stay casually nerdy, and I'll see you all in Monday's video for the first episode of The Medium. Peace.